now listening to the Motivational Jumpstart. Motivational Jumpstart. Motivational Jumpstart.
So I'm back. I know I'm being dramatic this morning for no reason, but it is what it is. In studio, ladies and gentlemen, in studio, we have an amazing individual, a great friend, a brotherhood that I'm building right now. I'm so excited to build this brotherhood because he has so many different elements of greatness in his walk of life thus far. It's been a remarkable journey. I can tell you about his story. I could read his bio. I could do all of these things, but why not hear from the man himself that's in studio? A mentor, an entrepreneur, a man of faith, an athlete, somebody who's committed himself to the grind day by day, believes in the concept of being a student. In studio, we have a legend, a good friend, a good brother, Mr. DeShon Foxx. What's happening, brother?
What's going on, man? I appreciate you having me in the studio this morning.
What's up, man? So, man, I'm excited. Motivators out there, this is the beautiful thing about the show and the elements, connecting with this brother, building this brotherhood. And I said, man, your story, your journey, your walk of life, you need to come in studio. Yeah. He said, man, word is bond. You give me a date, you give me a time, I'm coming in studio to share my story. So, DeShon, man, I appreciate you for coming in studio, man. So like we like to do, bro, tell the audience a little bit about yourself and what makes you come alive. What inspires you, good brother?
Yeah, so I'm from a small town, Lynchburg, Virginia.
Lynchburg,
Virginia. Went to a high school, Brookville High School. Played football all my life. Ever since I was 5 years old, I was in football. I had dreams of playing in the NFL. Was going through the process. My 11th grade year, I broke my wrist, snapped it.
Oh wow!
And the scholarship, the recruiting process, I was nervous because that's a big year. That's a big year to get your name out there. It's a big year to get your film to get recruited. Broke my wrist. I didn't know what was going on. I ended up, they told me I was supposed to wait 6 to 7 weeks. I came back in 3 weeks and I played with a cast on. Got some film together. Mm-hmm. My senior year, I had a pretty decent senior year. I can't complain about it. Ended up getting a scholarship to the University of Connecticut. From there, man, I met amazing people. It was a rough college career. Wins statistically wise, it was rough, but I had an amazing time. I couldn't have asked for a better place to be at. And then I was able to actually eventually pursue my dreams in the NFL. I played for the Seattle Seahawks for 2 years.
Uh-huh.
I was with the New York Jets for a year, and now I'm in the studio with my man Michael.
Yeah, man. No, that's exciting, man. So what inspires you, though, man? We're about to get to the backstory, but what inspires you, DeShon? Because that right there, to the motivators out there listening, they're like, wow.
Yeah.
Football, right? Broke his so that's overcoming some obstacles. Yeah. The fear of the unknown and making it to the pinnacle of your professional aspirations. So, but what inspires you, man?
So what inspires me is I have this, I have a saying. It's not my own saying. It's a saying that's been going on forever. But it's live your life with a purpose.
Yeah, yeah.
And every single day you have to have a purpose within that day. I know you have your short-term goals, you have your intermediate goals, and your long-term goals. But every single day, what are you doing to get better? What are you doing to affect a change in society in a positive way? One of my biggest inspirations, as you pointed out earlier, I'm a man of faith.
Sure, yeah.
I follow it with everything that I have in me, and I truly 100 believe that is the reason why I'm put on earth. I'm here to live with a purpose. I'm here to inspire people to be great, and the best way to do that is through your own actions. And so I feel like waking up every single morning with a purpose and a passion to get better at whatever it is, whatever the objective is for that day, waking up with a purpose and a passion, knowing that I have to get this done. I'm not doing it only for myself, but I have people who look up to me. I have younger brothers who look up to me. And so my thing is, once you find that purpose, once you find that God in you,
mm-hmm.
man, every day is a blessing.
Yeah.
Every day you have a certain purpose to wake up and to go out there and fulfill your purpose. And it's a huge purpose that each one of us has, not just me, not just you.
Yeah.
Every one of us have this purpose inside of us. And so it's just the fact of waking up every morning with that purpose, knowing your purpose, and going and attacking it.
Yeah, man. That's what's up, man. Listen, motivators. I told you it was gonna be a good one on the social media, channels, man. Yeah. So take us back, man. Yeah. So you said Lynchburg, Virginia's in the building.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about just, who was DeShon growing up?
Yeah.
Like, what was that experience like for you? We're just gonna build from there.
Yeah.
Who was DeShon from Lynchburg, Virginia?
So growing up, going to ask my parents, I was hard headed.
Uh-huh.
I was a hard headed little kid. And I grew up in my parents, they're a biracial couple in Lynchburg, Virginia. and it wasn't always the easiest.
As one can imagine.
As one can imagine, it wasn't always the easiest thing. Especially you see my mom, white mother with 3 little black kids walking around the store with. We would get certain looks every now and again, but I was hard headed. But my parents, one thing I can say about my parents, man, is that they never gave up on me. Never gave up on me. They saw the potential I had, and I thank them with everything that I have in me. That they stuck by me with the practices, and they're working crazy hours, and they're taking me to practice every day. They're at every one of my games. They just continue to motivate me, and that was a huge motivator going up, just knowing that I had to get a scholarship because I want to help my parents out. Going to the NFL, like, I want to help my parents out. And so, but yeah, growing up, it was fun. It was definitely fun. Like I said, I was a little knucklehead, so my parents at times, they got me right, but nah, just a typical. I just stuck to football. I wasn't much of a party guy in high school, not too much in college. I'm mainly just I knew where I wanted to get in life, and that was my goal. That was my main focus. And so for me, it was I needed to get good grades. Needed that in football, and I stuck to it, and I just followed that wave, and I never let anybody take me off my course. I set my own course, and I knew what was going. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew what was going on, and I continue to follow that.
Yeah. So you saying, man, starting at 5 years old. So that's the investment. 5 years old. You know what I mean? Being introduced to this concept in this game of football, which we know historically, and if not historically, more recently, that's a brutal sport.
It is.
You know, your parents get you involved in this. Was it love at first sight? Was it like, oh my God, like how did the real love and true passion outside of just being introduced to it evolve for you over the years?
It was honestly love at first sight. So my pops, he took me on the field one day, and he said, "Look, son," he played football growing up. He's like, "Look at son, here's a sport that I love. I'm introducing it to you. You make your decision." So I was never forced into it.
Oh, that's powerful,
It wasn't anything like that. He gave me the option. He introduced it to me. He said, "Look, this is a sport I love. How do you like it?" And so we would be out on the field in our front yard, throwing the football back around, practicing routes, techniques. He taught me how to play every position. He taught me how to kick. He taught me how to play running back, wide receiver. I was a quarterback at times in college. I got that from him. It was love at first sight. As soon as I hit the field at 5 years old, that's where I wanted to be every single day of my life. And so that's how it just progressed from then to where I was now.
Wow. So the level of sweat equity, obviously, right? Since 5 years old, right? You know, I see a bonding, you know, a son and a father bonding relationship that's grown over the year. Like, what did that mean to you? And when did you, like, really, outside of him putting the football in your hand and teaching you different things, that you knew it was aligning you and your purpose for this sport, but it also was connecting you to this, like, bigger purpose for your life?
Yeah, no, for sure. So my pops, one thing he did a really good job of educating me on society. Yeah. And also he was very transparent with how they were, their financial situation, what was going on with them. He was very transparent with that. He never hid anything from us. And so growing up, he said football is a way out. Football is a way out into a better life. And I truly believed what he told me. And so I worked, man. He would get off work. The awesome thing was he would get off work at maybe 6 or 7. He would come to my practice. I would go to practice. He would take me home, and I'd be like, "Look, Pops, like, I need to work on this, or I feel like I didn't do this well. Can you show me?" And he would be out in the yard 9, 10, 11 at night helping me with just my craft. And so I honestly knew from an early age that football was going to be my doorway to a better education, to a better financial future. And he was always, like I said, he was just transparent. He let me know what it was. He let me know, "Look, son, this is the actual way to get a free education and to make connections." And that was one thing he always told me, was to network, build connections, man. Just don't stay in when I got to college, don't stay in your dorm room. Get out, go talk to people. And so that was one thing I thank him so much for. I can't believe that, like, seeing how I came from then, and everything that he told me is kind of just a line straight up. And that's where my passion came from. Yeah, man. No, and that's powerful and profound. So you touched a little bit on it, man. But just growing up in Virginia, if those are not historically familiar with Virginia, you know what I mean, and racism and all these different aspects, and being in this, you know, a biracial family, you know what I mean, and having your mother and having your father and trying to navigate that space, you know,
what kind of schools did you go to? Were they segregated? Were they integrated? Were you oftentimes still using football as an outlet to escape from these other systems and these other tensions that were around you? Like, what was that for you? Because clearly it was, you said Pops was transparent with you.
Yeah.
So speak a little bit about that, brother.
No, for sure. So I went my high school. We was integrated, and we had a good mixture. It was majority. It was predominantly a mixture in there. But I know occasionally, just there would be problems. I know just outside of school, dating a white girl in Virginia, growing up in high school, it was tough at times. There would be times we go to the movies and we're sitting there walking down the thing, me and my friends, and if we have like a white girl with us, we're walking to the movies and we have guys driving up calling her the N-word lover.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's new for me. Like I'm in high school. My dad's with a white woman. I didn't think of no thing of it, but yeah, man, it was definitely different. I was introduced to it so young that growing up, I got used to it.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I hate that was a thing. I know recently, a couple years ago, we had a young lady from California who had moved to Virginia, and she was one of our friends. Like our whole group, like we would hang out, and she was shocked that there was still racism because she's from California.
California.
She's black,
Yeah, absolutely.
She's from California, and she comes to Virginia. And she's like shocked that there's still these racial slurs that will be used on a daily basis.
Yeah, yeah.
But overall, though, I love Virginia. That's where I want to reside when I get through everything I want to get through. I want to end up in Virginia. I love it. It has its problems here and there,
like every place.
Like every place, but it's not as bad as you think, or if you maybe hear like stories here and there. It's not as bad as that. It's honestly one of the best places that you could live at.
Right. So you've gone through this.
Yeah.
Sean, you experienced this, but those different elements, to the bigger connection of it, through football, through racism, through dating, through family, right? In some way, shape, form, this is all contributing to you on the field, right? And you using this as an outlet, right? So when was it, so you introduced to this, DeShon, but when was it like people were like, oh, this kid is going to be a problem? Was this middle school? Was this high school? You started really flourishing into the athlete to say, no, I'm not going D2. I'm going D1. This is my option. Like, when did you start flourishing and using all of these other things around you to continue to push you and motivate you?
I got you. So when I was 5 years old, I actually played with the group older than me.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It was interesting because when I started playing, the age group that I was with, their parents didn't want me playing with their kids at that time, because my dad taught me how to hit. And so they was like, all right, this kid is a little too physical.
Okay, yeah. There's always that one kid in Pee Wee football. You're like, Ray Lewis, sit down, Ray Lewis. What are you doing?
And at that time, I was the same size as everybody.
Uh-huh.
But everybody kept growing, and I kind of halted. But it was at that point when they moved me up, I'm kind of like, I'm not too bad. I'm not a bad player. Going through, I always had D1 aspirations.
Okay, yeah.
My dream school was Clemson University, but I always had like D1 aspirations. I never thought maybe D2, maybe D3. My dad instilled this work ethic in me, and I continue to build upon that. Like, I was going D1.
Yeah.
I don't care what you told me. So getting up into it, getting closer as we get up there. My freshman year, I had a good campaign. My sophomore year, another good campaign. Like I said, my junior year, I broke my wrist.
Mm-hmm.
And that one hit, because now I'm like, all right, like, what's going to happen? And for people who know me, I'm not the biggest person around. In high school, I was 5'10", $155, $160.
Uh-huh.
And people would constantly come tell me, look, man, like, you're not that big. So, like, what if a D2 school came and talked to you? You know what I'm saying? Because you got to look at, like, just the physicality of Division I football.
Yeah, for sure.
And like I said, you're not 200 pounds. I'm $160. So I had a lot of people telling me, like, maybe you should chill back a little bit. Try to focus maybe on D2, maybe D3, if you want to continue playing football after college. But no part of me ever believed anything that they said.
Right.
No part of me. I remember distinctly, like, no part of me was like, I'm not going D1. For me, that was not an option.
Yeah, yeah.
And I started getting a couple D1 schools come talking to me. I had a couple of them tell me, you're a little on the smaller side weight-wise. We would like to see you put on maybe 10, 15 pounds, which is understandable.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had Coach Perkins from University of Connecticut come talk to me. And he actually came to my house, spoke with my parents. Awesome guy, man. Definitely somebody I attribute a lot of my success to because it gave me a shot. Coach Etzel was that was the team that recruited me,
Mm-hmm.
and I give them a huge shout out. They gave me my opportunity, and so I remember I was at work in high school. I was working at McDonald's, and I was at work flipping patties, and my phone starts to vibrate in my work pants, and I look down at it and I see that it's Coach Perkins. So I run to the bathroom real quick, and I'm in the stall trying to hide from my boss. I answer the phone. He's like, "This is Coach Perkins, University of Connecticut. We would like to offer you a full scholarship." I'll never forget that day in my life.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
You talk about just overwhelming joy and a huge weight just lifted, and going home. I left work. There was no finishing the shift.
Yeah.
So I left the stall. Told my boss, "Look, man, hey, I gotta run." I drove home as soon as I got out the car. My parents were sitting in the driveway. My little brothers, they were in the house, and I remember telling them like, University of Connecticut just called and they're giving me a full scholarship. And just seeing the expressions on my parents' face, man.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
my mom crying, and it's just like one of those things that it's like we talked about it so much, but to actually have it like come true, to actually like see it come to fruition. It's something that I could never describe in actual words. It was just that overwhelming joy and just knowing that God had our back.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. So park that real quick, man.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a lot right there. So
Yeah.
wait, so before, because I know some of the listeners out there like, wait, hold up. I know he's had a good freshman campaign, sophomore campaign, and
Yeah.
that's seasons to those of you who
Yeah.
don't really speak the lingo.
Yeah.
Campaign, you had a good season
Yeah.
from that perspective. Junior year, you break your wrist,
Yup.
and then all of this fear and this uncertainty,
Yup.
and you got some people doubting you.
Yes, sir.
So at that moment, though, were there other like schools on the radar? I know you said Clemson was the dream school,
Yeah.
but outside of UConn, were there other letters coming your
Yeah.
way? And then when this happens, do those letters kind of fall to the wayside? Like, speak
Yeah.
on to that,
Right,
and then
yeah,
we
yeah.
get back to
So, I had a couple of the schools contacting me. I never had like any official offers from them yet. I had a couple schools. I had like Wake Forest.
Yep.
UVA was one of them. West
Yeah.
Virginia was one of them. NC State. Like I had a couple schools come talk to me. A couple schools send me letters and everything like that. But I never had an official offer.
Yeah.
And once they offered me, it was just like, this is real.
This is real.
Like I'm actually going to play college football.
Oh, so you said yes in the stall. It wasn't no game.
I didn't.
Oh,
No,
you
so
said,
it wasn't
okay.
like
We will get there.
We'll
Okay.
get to that part. So what happened was they wanted me to come on an official visit.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And so they set up official visit. I come up here, and it was the game versus Cincinnati. They were playing Cincinnati at home, and this was the game that they had like they needed to win this game to clinch a bowl berth. And so I remember this game. I'm sitting there, and it's cold. It's November. It's mid-November because the awesome thing was my recruiting trip. So I had just had a game the day before that. Friday, I had a
Friday.
game.
Yep.
So
Friday Night Lights, baby.
Exactly.
Yep.
So Friday I had a game, and honestly I had one of my best games of my high school career. And then I fly out Saturday morning. I get to Connecticut, and then it's actually my birthday, and so it's November 27th. I'm watching the game. The game's going on, and Jordan Todman killed that game. I remember that game so distinctly. Jordan killed that game. And so right after the game, I remember just all the fans going crazy, and I'm seeing the chip game. Like they're playing, I believe they played Oklahoma that year in the BCS Fiesta Bowl. And so I was just thinking like, this is an amazing fit. It's an amazing story how everything played out. It's my birthday. We get back to the hotel. The next day, I go meet with Coach Etzel, and we sit down and we're talking, and he's explaining to me just how the program is ran, and I'm sitting there, I'm talking to guys like Byron. That was my Byron Jones was actually my the chaperone basically.
Oh, the chaperone.
He was the guy who, like, when
Yeah.
I was on campus, he showed me where everything was.
Okay.
He was my tour guide, and I'm talking to Coach Edsel, and I fell in love with the campus. I fell in love just with the coaching staff, the team, and I committed the day after my birthday. Was the day that I committed, and that's when I was going to University of Connecticut. I flew back home, and I just remember just when I got to school the next day in high school, everybody was going crazy.
Yeah.
Because like I come from a good football program, and we got guys like Logan Thomas who went to Virginia Tech and got drafted. Like we had guys, but it's like nobody actually thought that I was gonna get a scholarship.
Yeah.
So just going back home, and I just remember all the support that I had, and just everybody, just all the love I received. It was an amazing feeling, just an unreal feeling, and it just kind of like all that work, all the things that I sacrificed, the partying I sacrificed, everything that I blew off to the side to look. This is what I'm focused on. It was all worth it.
Yeah.
It all became worth it.
Yeah. And motivators, I know you're feeling this energy, but the word, I love the word. And I know a lot of times y'all think I'm crazy because I talk about sacrifice.
Yeah.
Sacrifice is so real.
It's real.
It's so necessary.
Yeah.
It's so necessary, you know, and I think that's the difference between going from good to great to unstoppable is sacrifice. And you all have to continue to individually realize, you know, what are you going to sacrifice in your life? But anyway, I digress because I know the listeners are like, yo, this is crazy. So now you get back to school, they like DeShon. Like, you know, and I think that's a testament, right? And all the motivators out there, we know. So people count us out.
Yeah.
And then we win. And then they're like,
us.
oh, they love us.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I knew you was going to get it, baby.
Exactly.
I knew it. I was like, last week, I was just like, you too small. But this week, oh, my gosh, you got the scholarship.
Yeah.
So now this feeling is overwhelming. You graduate. I don't know if you had a moment, you know, to reflect on the journey since 5 at that moment because you're probably still on this natural high. Yeah. And then, boom, you graduate, and you coming up to Storrs, Connecticut. Pick us up from there, brother.
So I didn't really get the opportunity to sit here and like, oh man, like for 5 years old, this is like you said, it was a world story.
World story,
As soon as I graduated, I think I had maybe a month or a couple weeks, and then I'm in Connecticut and I'm starting summer classes in college, and I'm a month removed from high school, but no, it was crazy. So the whole adjustment to the college lifestyle, balancing college academics and football, unreal. It's two full-time jobs. It really is two full-time jobs. But so we're going through the process. We're going through the summer trainings, and we're going through the training camp. And my first training camp. So training camp in college is one of those things that tests your love for football.
Oh, okay, real.
It tests your love for football. It will make or break you.
Yeah.
And so I'm getting through it, and that was a grind. That was a grind like I've never experienced before. And so we get through it, and coming up to my first actual season in college, they decided not to redshirt me. So I'm actually playing.
This is a good thing.
Depends on how you look at it.
Okay.
Some people love to. See, I didn't want a redshirt. I wanted to play. Like, I didn't want to sit that year out. I wanted to play. And so I didn't redshirt. And so my first game, I think we're playing Fordham. My first game, I get my first handoff. I was playing running back at the time.
Okay.
And I remember getting my first hit. And I was like, yeah, this is... That hit in college was harder than any hit I ever experienced in high school.
Right, I can imagine.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, so, yeah, I do got to put a little bit of weight on. But I loved it. It was awesome. I remember my first start was at the kick returning position with Nick Williams against West Virginia.
Okay, yep.
And, man, growing up just watching West Virginia and just looking at the stadium and just always having these dreams of playing in those games. And I remember sitting back there and the ball's kicked off, and I see it coming to me, and I'm looking around like, this is my time. Like, I'm like this is West Virginia. We're at West Virginia. Like, this is my time to fulfill something I've always wanted to. My parents are in the stadium and everything like that. Catch the kickoff, and I actually had a good kickoff return that one. I think it was maybe like 40 yards, 35, 40 yards. So I get up and I'm hyped.
Yeah.
Man, I can't explain it. And then just going through that, man, then it was just a grind. I got hurt my sophomore year. I had surgery on my hand.
Okay, yeah.
Again, I went through another tough, it's like, man, like, is the NFL acquirable now? Like, can I actually get there? And so I got through that. My junior year, my sophomore year, going into my junior year, they moved my position from running back to receiver.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which I was so thankful that they did, because that was my ticket to the NFL as a receiver and kick returner, punt returner. I wasn't going to the NFL as a running back.
Oh, for sure.
And so they moved me to receiver, and I loved receiver. I loved it. I loved just I just loved the speed of it. I just loved the action in it. It was amazing. I loved that position.
And it's something your dad had been training you for all the positions, right?
So my whole life, I knew how to play it all. So
I
said, then going into my senior year, I was a receiver. We had a couple quarterbacks go down, and my dad told me how to play quarterback. I played quarterback in high school. I had some college teams looking at me as a quarterback, and I ended up playing a little bit of quarterback at UConn, and it was just fun. Like, that's just something I'll never take away. Like, that was just one of the most fun things, especially the game against Central Florida, my senior year, at the unveiling of Jazz statue, memorial statue. Homecoming, and I had that arguably my best college football game that day, and most of it was at quarterback. Yeah, man, it was awesome. But then going up into the draft, so now we're in the draft, and some draft things had me projected to go maybe 7th round to undrafted.
Right,
so
right.
I understood that, but still I didn't believe it.
Yeah.
Nobody thought I was gonna get a scholarship, so I'm like, I'm getting drafted. The draft goes by and I don't hear my name called, and that was a blow to my ego. That was a blow, and I remember my phone blowing up, people calling me, hey, you didn't get drafted. Like, I turned my phone off, and I just sat there. I sat there for like a good hour, just rewinding everything in my head. Like, what could I have done? What more could I have done to give myself the opportunity to get drafted? But.
So did you go in the draft? What position were you going in for?
I was going in as a receiver.
As a receiver, okay. Yep.
And so I went in, like I said, undrafted. My agent gives me a call like 30 to 45 minutes later. He gives me a call. I didn't want to answer it. He gives me a call and he says that there's a couple teams that want me to come out for a tryout.
Yeah.
And so I ended up going with the Seattle Seahawks on a tryout basis. So when you get drafted, you're good. Then they have the priority free agents, and those are the guys that's like, hey, if it was an 8th or 9th round, we would have picked you.
Right.
Then you have your tryout guys.
Yeah.
These are the guys who is you can come try out. Is what it sounds like.
Right.
So
come try to walk on.
Come try on. It's like a walk. It's like walking onto on a higher scale.
On a higher scale, yeah, for sure.
And so, of course, I'm gonna take the opportunity though. I believed in myself. I put the work in. I believe that I had the talent to make it. So I go out on a tryout basis, and you get 3 days. They do a 3-day like a rookie mini camp. So you get 3 days to basically prove that you're good enough to be on the NFL roster. That's what you get. 3 practices. And so you get up there and you're with the guys that they drafted. You're with all the priority free agents, and then you're with a slew of tryout guys that they brought in.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, you're like, is 3 days enough? Like, how are they ever going to see my potential with 3 days? And we have 15 receivers, and we all got to get reps. So we're going through the tryout process, and I just remember my pops was talking to me, and I was like, look, I'm just gonna go in there, and every single time I step on that field, it's all out. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what it is. If we're doing a walkthrough, I'm not doing a walkthrough. I'm all out doing everything. We get through the tryout, and they're sending all these guys home, and so they come and talk to me. They're like, hey, we really liked you. We thought you did a good job. We thought that your speed is very attractive to us. We'll give you a call. This is what they told me. They said, we'll give you a call. It could be in a week. It could be in a year. And I went home.
Wow.
So I'm like, all right, like that's a big, and it's an if. Like, it's not like they will call me. It's a we don't know what's going on. So I come back to Connecticut because I missed my graduation. I didn't go to my graduation.
Okay.
So I could go to the tryout. So I get back to Connecticut. I pack all my stuff up. I take everything down to Virginia. As soon as I touch down in Virginia, the next morning, I get a call from my agent. And he's saying that the Seahawks wanted to bring me back and sign me on their roster. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, no, like, you're joking right now. I just got in Virginia. I'm sitting there trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I'm looking for jobs, and I really don't know what's going to happen next. And I'm talking to my parents like, what's my next step? and they hit me with a call, and they're like, they want to sign you. So I pack all my stuff up, and I'm out that day.
Yeah.
I'm out that day. So I head to Seattle, and completely different football.
Yeah.
Completely different football. The speed of it. I think the hardest part, though, transitioning from college football to NFL, the hardest part was just the mental aspect of the game.
Yeah, yeah.
The mental aspect that's the most difficult part of NFL football. Obviously, the physicality of NFL football is crazy, and the speed of it is crazy, but the mental part of it, how complex defenses are now, that's what, like...
Break it down a little bit more, man. So you're
Yeah.
talking about the mental perspective of it,
Yeah,
the
so-
speed, and you seeing this, you
Yeah.
know, you get signed. Was it a 1-year deal? Was it
Yeah.
how?
So I signed a 3-year deal.
Oh, okay,
I
yep.
signed a 3-year deal with him, and I get there, and I'm sitting here, and I'm going, and I remember lining up, and I look across from me, and it's Richard Sherman. And I'm going, I'm like, best DB in the NFL. Man, I was so excited. I couldn't like believe that. Like, I'm like, look, I'm actually right here. Like, I'm actually doing what I've always said I wanted to do, what I always planned on doing.
Yeah, yeah.
And now I have the opportunity to go make it a reality. Man, it was awesome. So you're just going against going against the best guys in the NFL, the Earl Thomases, the Cam Chancellors, the Richard Shermans, the Bobby Wagners. Man, it was awesome. And the speed of it was crazy. So the thing was the hardest thing going into it, like I said, was the mental aspect of it. So I remember distinctly, I was sitting there in the slot position, and your route changes depending on the defense.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
a 2-high defense and a 1-high defense, your route is completely different. So I remember them it looked like it was a 2-high shell, but like I said, it's just they're a lot more advanced. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right, yeah, that's a 2-high shell. So I'm like, all right, for the most part, they're going to stay in it, because in college football, that's what it was. You saw a 2-high shell, it was 2-high shell. I remember the ball snapped and everything changed.
As I can
Everything
imagine.
changed. I'm looking, the linebacker dropped down, the safety rotated to the middle of the field. They ran like a cover 3 fire zone, and I'm like, oh man. So that's when I was like, all right, like, I'm in the playbook and I'm studying film, but now this isn't enough what I'm doing. I got to kick it up another notch. I got to take it another step further. So I just, man, like I said, it's a sacrifice. I sacrificed a lot of free time to put into my craft. And
Right.
so I wasn't one of those guys who went out. I was one of those guys who, while people was going out, I was watching film.
Right.
I'm studying other receivers. I'm studying other offenses. I'm studying defenses. I'm studying certain players to see how they play and what can I put into my game. And so, man, like it was just an awesome journey. It was amazing.
So awesome journey. You there,
Yeah.
you get it. You like, this is Richard Sherman. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God. So it was one sense I idolized some of these people because I
Yeah.
hadn't seen them on Sunday,
Yeah.
but now I'm here
Yeah.
and I'm going, but I'm still like, I got this contract, but maybe I don't really have this contract. You know, so talk about a little bit now. You fulfilling this. You know, I know you ended up, I don't know if you're getting traded or something like that, but just speak a lot to when not only just the different mental perspective of the game changed, but then you like, oh, this is like business too.
So yeah, definitely, it is a business.
Uh-huh.
It is 100% a business. The NFL is all business calls, and so I learned that my first actual dosage of it was leading up to the first preseason game. We was playing Kansas City. I'm packing my stuff up. We're playing them the next day. I get a call saying I'm cut, and I'm like, what do you mean I'm cut? I haven't played in a game yet.
Yeah.
And so what had happened was they had a couple linebackers get hurt. They had to bring a linebacker in, and they have this little saying in the NFL. It's like, last one in, first one out.
Yeah.
I was the last one in, so I was the first one they cut.
Right.
So they cut me, and I was back in the boat I was before I got drafted. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
I went to Virginia. I remember watching the first preseason game, and I never been so mad in my life. Like, sitting there watching it, like, I should be there. Like, I legit should be out there playing. But I kept going. I kept rolling. And then a week later, they called me back, and they're like, all right, we want to bring you back. The linebackers had got healthy. We want to see what you got. So they brought me back. I was like, all right, cool. But that's when I first realized that it is a business.
Yeah.
It's a business. I get there, go through preseason, I get cut again week after the final cuts. I didn't make the final cuts, I get cut. And they call me back for practice squad.
Mm-hmm.
And so then like I'm there, I'm hanging out. I go through that year, my second year, I'm killing it. Best training camp I've had in my life. And then I ended up tearing my hamstring. I ended up tearing my hamstring. And so that one really tested me. Because I thought I had a shot, like, of being somebody at that point, because I was doing really well.
Yeah.
I tear my hamstring, and so I remember I get back on the team, and then they cut me again. And so I'm living in Seattle at this time. I have an apartment out there, so I'm just living out there. And that's where I started my business.
Okay, yeah.
So I started a business out there, basically training receivers called Warrior Academy.
Yep.
And so I started a little business out there that actually picked up, and I loved it. And so my agent calls me and he said, "Hey, the Jets want to bring you in for a tryout." I was like, "All right." Like, they just want to just see how you run, see if your hamstring's healthy, see how your hands are. So I fly to New York, and I do the tryout, and again I did well. So I go do my physical, I go do everything checks out. They take me upstairs and they're saying, "All right, we want to sign you." So I'm like, cool. They give me the contract. As soon as I'm putting pen to paper, the Seahawks call me, and they're like, "We want to sign you." And so I'm sitting there and I'm calling my agent, I'm calling my parents. I'm like, what do I do right now? Because this is a big decision. Like, do I go back to Seattle or do I go to New York? And I decided to end up going to New York because I had so my thing is, once I commit to something, that's what I'm committed to.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
There's no going back. I had already told them, like, look, I'm signing. And that's why I committed to it. And that's one of my moral grounds that it doesn't matter what will happen in life. That's one thing that I will always stick to. I have my word. If I don't have anything else in this world, I have my word.
It's powerful, brother.
And so I stuck to it, went through, and I did well. I loved it. It was cool. New York was different. I'm from the country.
I'm from
the country, so I'm used to trees and woods and all of that. And I go to New York, and it's bright lights and huge buildings. But it was cool. I liked it. I ended up, they cut me. And I remember I'm like, all right, I don't want to go back to Virginia. Like, I want to just, I had this work ethic. I just want to keep rolling with my life. I don't want my life to stop just because football stopped.
Yeah.
And so I called Dr. Cooper, and this is like 2 or 3 weeks before grad school starts. I called Dr. Cooper. I'm like, "Dr. Cooper, I got cut. I had applied for grad school my senior year in college. I had applied because, like I said, I was undrafted, so I didn't know if I was going to the NFL.
Yeah, for sure.
So that was my, I was going back to grad school. I called him. I was like, "Dr. Cooper, this is my situation. Is there anything that we can do?" He was like, "I'll give you a call back." And, man, that's why I love Dr. Cooper, man.
Yeah, Dr. Joseph Cooper, friend to the show,
Yeah.
Assistant professor here at the UConn NEAC School of Education and Sport Management. Shout out to Dr. Coop.
Shout out to Dr. Cooper, man. That's somebody who will literally give everything to help the next man.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely,
One of those guys, and so much respect for. I called him. He said he'll give me a call back. He made a couple calls. I got in touch with Dr. McGarry, who, shout out to her again.
Absolutely.
They was able to get, like I said, I already applied, so I had my application and everything like that. I was able to start grad school, and that's where I'm at right now. I'm back in grad school, back with Collective Uplift. Shout out to Collective Uplift.
Absolutely. See you.
Where I met some amazing people. Yourself, my man Michael. Met some awesome people, and now I'm just loving life, man. And I'm back in this grad school phase. Just got done with the midterms.
Yeah, man.
Cool.
So man, as we wind down, because it's so powerful, man, and it's going to be a part 2 or part 3, DeShon, man. But what has this journey, taught you about yourself, about commitment, about obviously sacrifice?
Yeah.
I'm sure, not speaking for you, if you had to do it all over again, I mean, everything, especially being a man of faith, this is continuing to build you for a bigger purpose.
Yeah.
But like, what did you learn about yourself? Like being so close and getting signed, but then not getting signed, and then getting cut, and then getting signed, and then you know, like what is that, like the bigger picture to some people who might be listening and say, man, I would have gave up, man. Like forget all this, forget the dream. Okay, at least I got there. What was the bigger lesson that it taught you about life, about coming back to school, about everything?
Yeah.
Like what was that for you?
So one thing is, we have one life, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, 1,000%.
We get one chance at it. So why not explore everything?
Yeah.
Like, why not go out there and just try to be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be? And so, one thing that I started to learn was, I wanted to use my journey as an example for other people who might be wanting to give up, other people who might have negative things happening to them, and they look around and they're kind of like, it's easier to go for my dreams and just go do the mundane routine that I see everybody doing that seems to work, but they're not truly happy. So my thing in life is I want to be happy.
Yeah.
And so, why give up?
Yeah.
Like, why not continue to reach for your dreams and your aspirations? Because it's not like you get a do-over.
Yeah.
It's not like you can hit the reset button later on in life and just be like, all right, now I'll start to work. Now I'll put this effort in to lose the weight that I want to lose, or get the degree that I want to get, or whatever it is. So I think in society too, we've been conditioned to just become like satisfied.
Absolutely.
And that's something that we need to break. And I think also in our society, we've been conditioned to think that success is just based off money.
Mm-hmm.
Success is based off materialistic things,
Mm-hmm.
which is not true.
Yeah, man.
Which is not true. Success is based off your happiness.
Yeah.
Everybody has different opinions of what success is and what success looks like to them.
Yeah.
And whatever it looks like to you, go make it happen. Don't sit there, like, don't complain. Bad stuff is going to happen. It's going to happen to me, it's going to happen to you, it's going to happen to everybody listening, it's going to happen to everybody in the world. You will eventually see defeat. But how are you going to respond to it? Are you going to continue to get up at 5 in the morning and make your dreams a reality? Are you going to continue to if you want to lose 15, 20 pounds and a week later you take the scale and you gained a pound, are you going to stop?
Yeah.
Or are you going to get up a little bit earlier, get that extra mile in? And so that's the thing about life, man, is live it with a purpose, live it to the fullest you could possibly live it to.
Yeah.
Don't be satisfied. Just continue every day. Like, we have to continue to grow as a person, grow in knowledge, expand in relationships. That's what life is about.
Yeah. Man, that's powerful, man. That's profound, man. And as we wind down, man, we definitely have to bring you back, in the DeShon, man. But that is just such a powerful testament, man. And I think your bigger calling, your bigger, connection to life, man, is just being at peace. It's like, but nobody in my life, I could look myself in the mirror and say, since 5 years old, I gave it all out. Everything. And although I gave it everything, and these defeat and these certain things that I might have not wanted to picture for myself, this is not going to stop my life.
No, not at all. I
got a part 2. I got a part 3. I got certain things that I'm not going to even put on air that the world doesn't even know. DeShon Foxx is coming for you. Like, how do you just say every single day, man, just so inspired but yet humble on this journey?
So like I said, as a man of faith, I believe that's where my humility comes from. Because in the grand scheme of things, we are all doing it. We're all reaching the same goal in the end. We're all reaching the same goal. And so one thing that I have, that every single morning I wake up and I write down, what good am I going to do today? Every morning, wake up, write that down, and I look at it. I go throughout my day, and when I get home that night, I look at it, and then I answer it. What did I do? What good did I do today? Did I give enough compliments out today? Did I love as hard as I possibly can today? Did I reach out to people and ask them how their day was? Did I make somebody smile today? You know what I'm saying? That's a positive thing that you're doing. It doesn't take you trying to literally change the world to change the world. All you gotta do is just change yourself. look in the mirror and make a change to yourself that you're going to live in a more positive, productive way. And answer that question every morning: what good am I going to do today?
Yeah, man, powerful. That's messages after messages after messages. Sean, last question I got for you, brother. You know, for the essence of time, man. All of the listeners, and you just did and dropped so much amazing jewels, your testament, your sacrifice, your purpose, your driven, and you know, and there's so much more that you have for yourself. What's the last words, man, that you would just leave the listeners out there to continue to fight the good fight?
Yeah.
And we just gonna end it right there, brother.
Yeah, I like what you said. Continue to fight the good fight. Don't let nobody, don't let certain circumstances or people turn you from fighting the good fight. Don't let negativity just alter your positivity. But one thing that I want to tell everybody every single day is live with purpose.
Yeah.
Every day, live with a purpose. When you wake up, have a purpose that day. Have an objective that day. Reach it, conquer it, and continue to build on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, DeShon, man, I appreciate you for coming to the studio, man. You inspire me, man. I'm looking forward to building the brotherhood. Yeah. I'm looking forward to where your career and everything goes.
For sure.
You know, the levels of collaboration, man, definitely going to get you back, you know, in studio. To the listeners out there, I told you it was going to be a good one.
Yeah.
You know, he talked about sacrifice. He talked about his journey. He talked about overcoming defeat, you know, and not saying that, you know, necessarily liking defeat, but realizing that defeat was inevitable and saying, but you know what? I gave it everything that I have, and guess what? The world is still not going to stop me from achieving my goals and the things that I want to do, and I still have so much more to give. So that's the message for today. Hopefully you seeped it and you digested it in your spirit. But like I said, this is what we're doing every week, building this colossal following of individuals. You know, continue to stay tuned, continue to follow. Where can they follow you on social media?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everything at DeShon Foxx, DeShonFoxx.
All right, DeShon Foxx at on Instagram, social media perspective. You can follow me at Michael Mallery at I'm So Educated. That's the letter I, the letter M, So Educated. And until next time, motivators, continue to be the change that you wish to see. And for WHUS Doors 91.7 FM.